Hey, what's up, everybody? Merry Christmas. 2018 is coming to a close, and we're gonna do a list of our top Plamo kits of the year, both Bandai and non-Bandai alike. Despite this year being full of premium Bandai releases, and for Mike, a year full of build divers, we did manage to find a few that were enjoyable, and here we go.
So before we cap off what are our top Gunpla kits and also non-Gunpla kits, we just have to say that this is not a comprehensive measurement system of why we like the kits based on articulation or design or whatnot, but it's really more of kits that really caught our attention and kits that we really like in terms of value, play value as well, and overall badass of how it looks.
Basically, our opinions are basically arbitrary. You can dismiss them if you want, but it's our opinion.
Yeah. So Zoe, why don't you share with us what were your top Gunpla kits of 2018 that you were really happy about?
Yeah, to start off, down at number 5, I'm pretty shocked. It was a premium Bandai. It was the Tall Strike Glitter that came out in mid of the year from Bill Fighters. Yes, Bill Fighters, the better one.
Yep.
And for me, what I liked about this guy is he didn't look like a Bill Fighters kit. He basically looked like something that can exist in the Gundam Seed universe, kind of like a high-speed variant of the Strike. And one, he just looks cool, and I love the play value, what you can get if you bought all the Gundam Evolution Project kits or Gundam Revive kits for the Strike. Yeah, I liked it, man.
Yeah, I have to agree with this choice because we reviewed this kit, and when I was playing with it when we were filming the kit as well, it was quite a solid kit, right? There was no loose parts anywhere, it posed very well, and it looks really cool as well.
And also, it's a Naoki kit.
Oh,
you can't go wrong.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, how to tell, he has a fetish for high heels. Now moving to number 4, this might be a surprise. It is the RX-0 Maru, piloted by your favorite waifus, Ayane, I don't know, I don't watch the show, but I do love this kit. One, it uses the new cross silhouette frame for all the SD Gundams that have come out recently. Mike, you like the cross silhouette as well, don't you?
Yes, the SDCS, I think it's a great system. I think it really changed the SD line all in all, right? It definitely makes it look a lot more badass, and also in terms of articulation wise, it is just great. The only thing I don't like about this kit is just so much stickers, but then again, nothing a little paint can't fix.
And that, for me, is why I liked it. I consider this thing a diamond in the rough. You need to give a little bit of effort, some paint, and some love. You will get it looking like the promo images if you just give that little bit extra attention to detail.
Yeah, I would have to say that out of all the build diverse kit that was released, this and another one is probably the only 2 kits I like from the series. The rest are like, not that great. What about number 3, bro?
Number 3, oh god. This was kind of a mixed bag. Essentially, this guy is kind of like an upgrade kit. He is premium Bandai to a kit that's already been released, the Gundam Evolution Zeta. And like I said, this is kind of an upgrade kit. You get better proportions, better head sculpts, less stickers, and better paint apps. Other than that, whether it's worth it, I'm not sure, but I'm just glad that I have a Zeta that does not destroy my hands like the real grade.
Yeah, the real grade Zeta was really bad. I built it, it was loose parts everywhere, everything just falls apart that easily. And with the Zeta being a Gunpla Evolution project, the kit itself was quite solid. I built it as well, I really loved it, right? The only thing that pisses me off is that this is a premium minor release, right? So obviously, I would have to say, even though the changes was minute, it was very minute. Unless you put 2 to 2 together, you can't really see what were the difference between that and the original kit. But hey, I still think this, it's probably on the kit that you should have gotten in 2018 as well.
Now, this guy is fairly recent. He just came out, depending on where you live, maybe a couple of weeks ago or a month ago. This is the high-resolution S3 red frame. For me, the articulation won me over, and the super robot details. I know for a lot of you guys, the proportions were a big letdown, but for me, God, I love it, man.
I have to say this kit was a good-looking kit, right? And I say it was because when we first saw the official pictures, the red doesn't really seem the same as when you actually get the product. The red is a bit more, how would I say, pale. And some of the people actually, when they bought this kit and they're starting to build it, there were some joints that were a little bit too tight, and some of those guys actually broken their frames, which is not a good sign for such an expensive kit, right?
Who knows? If Bandai is listening, maybe they are, maybe they're not. I think they're not. If they do reissue this guy in a later date, please fix the problems, because people like me really do love this design and are planning on getting this in the future. It will not disappoint you, especially if you love the Astray.
The only thing that like I said, you're paying so much for high resolution model. High resolution model is supposed to be a premium of a kit, isn't it? It is meant to have a great finishing for all the different armor and also the colors. But I'm really disappointed that they didn't go with a proper finishing for the red.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Another letdown is that they use sticker decals as opposed to water slides. I don't know, that's a downside for me. I'm sorry.
For such an expensive kit.
Yeah, you could have included that one as well.
So drum roll, man. What is your number one?
Number one, for a guy who grew up in the States during his high school days, is the Tallgeese, the real great Tallgeese. Essentially, what this guy is a miniaturized, scaled down version of a master grade, compact into a neat little package. It comes, I think, from Mike as well. Like, it has gloss finishing, some matte finishing as well. Even the inner frame, they step away from the pre-built inner frame and make you build it yourself. It's a lot more stable, a lot more sturdy. And my god, I just love the way this thing looks.
I'm just surprised you didn't pick the Tallgeese 2 as your number one, but hey,
it is number one.
Okay, for me, well, to be very frank, it's been quite a disappointing year in terms of Gunpla. There's way too much great releases under Premium Bandai and also Build Diver series as well. There aren't many in my list, so on my list is basically the real grade Sazabi. I think I've been following the real grade for quite some time, and if you look at this real grade, this is the biggest real grade ever. It's almost like buying a 1/100 scale, almost, right? It's such a big kit.
It is. If you were to see the box in person, you might mistake this for a master grade box.
Yes. So when I actually got the box itself, I was shocked. Like, wow, this is such a big kit. For the price, it's well worth it. I think there's plenty of reviews on the internet and also YouTube on why this is a great kit. I haven't built mine because I'm waiting for my Matte Works etching parts, which I'm going to share with you how I'm going to put in more details for this kit later on. Yeah, so Real Grade Sazabi is one of the top kits on my list. And next is, of course, the well built, well proportioned, great engineering, almost like a real grade 0.5. I would say 1.5 is 0.5. There are a lot of great moving mechanism on the knee, on the arm as well. And overall, the kit looks great, especially with the Crescent Moon armor and funnel on the back, right?
Essentially, this is a step up in the high grade line. If they can continue this trend in all the upcoming releases, maybe in the UC line, I think we can expect a very bright future for it.
Yeah, I think that's definitely where the market should head for high grade. But then given the price, would that many people pay for that? It's almost like buying a real grade in a sense, but you don't get everything that you get with a real grade.
You have to take account, like, the UC is definitely meant for adults with a much more bigger disposable income. I don't see a problem with pricing.
I guess my only gripe with the Moon Gundam is the feet, because it's fixed, right? You can't actually, change the heel. So sometimes, with a fixed heel, a foot position, sometimes the kit will fall because of the weight of the Moon itself that's on the back. Now that you heard our top Gunpla picks of 2018, let's talk a little bit more about our non-Gunpla pick. I think that's a little bit more exciting. So Zo, why don't you share with us your list?
First off, it's not a kit, essentially. It's more of the company itself. What I have here is Flame Toys. They are a toy company based in Hong Kong, and what makes them special is that they do Transformers toys, a third-party one at that. But what makes it even greater is that they have an official license from Hasbro. You heard me right. Officially licensed products by Hasbro. That means they are allowed to use the Decepticon and Autobot emblems on their products. So far, they've released there's only two lines. There are the Karakuri line, which is the high-end figures, and this one, the Furai line. They're model kits. They're model kits, and so far there have only, I think, 3 or 4 that have been released. The G1 Optimus,
Starscream,
the G1 Starscream, and coming soon the IDW Optimus, and another one, the New York exclusive Nemesis Prime.
I have to say, I mean, these kids, in terms of proportion, they look quite, very agile, super robot-like,
Yeah,
almost.
very super robot,
Really,
yes.
really cool. I never built them. How's the build experience like?
Build experience-wise, they're kind of like high grades, but high-end high grades.
So you get a lot of stickers or get a lot of clear parts?
Stickers, unfortunately, there's an abundance of. I recommend you painting them. Spend some time to making them stand out a bit more. But just the experience alone, that this is brand integration, something that we rarely see, especially for Hasbro. I think this is a wonderful thing that they're doing for Plamo builders and also for Transformers fans like myself, and especially those who love the IDW comics.
But these kids, they can't transform, right?
No, it's not
So
transformable.
it's basically in a robot form, which is very agile, and looks like there's plenty of great articulation as well.
Yep. You can do the anime crotch pose. One in particular that I'm really looking forward to, which is hopefully they release this next year, is their IDW Autobot Megatron. You heard me right, Autobot Megatron, from the More Than Meets the Eye comic, IDW publishing, that came out a few years ago. And when I get this, I'm definitely gonna get my silver paints and definitely very high glossy top coat, because
Chrome
this guy,
finish it.
maybe
Give it a
chrome.
chrome
This guy
finish.
deserves it, man.
But wasn't Megatron and Autobot a good guy robot in the original series in Japan before?
In Japan, Megatron was a hero.
Yeah.
Ironically.
So that was good. Okay, great. Thanks for sharing that. So what's next on your list of non-Gunpla kits for 2018?
Okay, this I don't know what you would call it, a Mecha Musume figure. For me, when I first started out building these Mecha girls were Bandai's Super Fumina kits, and my God, I had a very, very terrible experience building them. They fell apart. They did not look finished. Even when I tried to paint them, I ended up just throwing them in the trash. I think I sent one to the US. My friend bought a what's this? A boring tunnel flamethrower, and yeah, he just blew the hell out of it. But this is Megami device. Kotobukiya's Megami device. What I have here is the Coyote. Again, another brand integration with a Japanese video game, Alice Gear Aegis. If you are interested in building this, and if you want to get a better experience in the mecha anime girl thing, please try out Megami device or even the Frame Arms girls. They are good despite the price.
Do they actually come with all the effect parts, and do they come with a lot of stickers, and how's the build experience?
Stickers, depending on the kit itself. Some of them come with water slide decals, and yes, the effect parts, they are included. Not all, unless it's stated in the box.
Yeah, I would say definitely from the pictures I've seen here, looks really good actually.
It is. A word of contention: if you are planning on buying the Coyote, be careful with the hair. They're hard plastic, so if you drop them, it's gone. Bye bye.
So drum roll, what is the number one non-Gunpla kit of 2018 for you, Zol?
I don't know whether I can count this as one, but they come in 5 and they combine together. Try to guess. It's an 80s cartoon show at 5 lines.
Wow.
I'm giving you a few seconds to guess. Okay, good. It is Voltron, or Gold Lion as it was introduced back in Japan. If you're planning on getting this guy, maybe you can get them at Big Bad Toy Store. That's where I got mine for a good 250 ringgit, about 60 bucks. It is well worth it. Again, being market, you have to paint. It'll come out looking good if you're good at painting. But overall, it's something great to fiddle around with when you're in the office or something, because that's where I display mine mostly. And I'm bored, I just play with it.
How's the build experience? Because it looks like there's a lot of stickers for the mini-pla range. Because I never built a mini-pla range before.
Unfortunately, yeah, there are a lot of stickers. Some are curved, and some will make you scream and shout and make up new curse words. Another thing that might be a trade-off for some people is that they do parts forming in the legs, especially. You can take them off, or you can leave them on when you combine them into Voltron. Here in the picture, this is more streamlined, but the articulation on this is superb when you combine them together to form Voltron.
Yeah. So for those of you who are in countries where they have premium Bandai, you can actually get it. So this is a premium Bandai Super Mini Pla Voltron.
I was not aware of that.
Okay, great. At least for me, that was interesting as well. For non-Gunpla kids, is actually the Votom Scoop Dog. This was supposed to be a new kit that was supposed to be released in August 2018, but surprise, none of the hobby shops in Malaysia carry them. Right? Most of the toy stores in Malaysia were still carrying the old 2008 Scoop Dog Votom version, so which I was kind of pissed. I think if you love old school mobile suit designs, this new refreshed Scoop Dog line of Votom, as they call it in Japan, definitely looks really great. Again, it's a premium Bandai, unfortunately, but I think I need to get my hands on this sooner or later. So the Scoop Dog definitely looks great.
Again, to what Mike said, it definitely invokes that old school and robot anime look, which I myself am intrigued, and I really want to see this thing in person and hold it in my hands to see how it is, man.
Yeah, because it's meant to be, a lot more mechanical, like the MS-08 series. Everything is a little bit more real life. So if you can build this with, a bit of rustic desert camo like, which will probably look a lot cooler. Than
What you're planning to do with your Hexa
That's
gear.
what I'm planning to do with my Hexa gear as well. So I think Zoe just kind of spoiled it as well. For the next must-have 2018 non-Gunpla kit for me, at least, is the Hexa gear Agni Rage. I mean, Agni Rage is one of the biggest Hexa gear kits ever released. It just came out in December this year, and I think a lot of people has kind of glossed over it because everybody's still fixated with what's coming up for Gunpla releases next 2019. But as you've seen from our videos, Hexa Gears actually is quite an awesome series.
It is, yeah. I got my chance to build the bulk arm, which is a pretty old release, but the level of engineering that they put into that little kit, it won me over. And hopefully I can get some later on with my paychecks. Oh, God.
So I would say the Hexa Gear line is something that a lot of people actually missed out, but if you go and check out what the Japanese hobby collectors, Plamo collectors, builders are doing in Japan, you will see that a lot of them are actually jumping on to Hexa Gears already. And of course, for me, out of Scoop Dog and also Hexa Gear, my number one 2018 Plamo kit that I think everybody should focus on is really the Plamex VF1 Macross Gerwalk, or Gerwalk, right? Whatever you want to call it.
For those of us from in the States, it's from Robotech.
Yeah. So this is from Plamex. Plamex is, of course, from Max Watanabe. He is very famous for his Max finish in the old 80s, 90s Gunpla scene. But this is the biggest ever.
Yeah, I was
You can
shocked.
get the VF1 at 120 scale. You can look at the box size of it as well. It's huge. So I think this is one thing that is only meant for serious collectors, because the kit actually comes with a lot of stickers. And I don't think you really want to put stickers on this beautiful kit, right?
Again, like Mike said, this is for serious collectors with very huge disposable income. I think for us, it's a bit beyond reach.
Yeah. So in Japan, I think most of the allocated stocks are already almost sold out. There's only very few limited left. We are trying to get our hands on one, but we're also wondering whether can we actually have the right skill sets and airbrushing skill sets to actually build one. So hang on, guys. We might be able to get one and actually build one for you to review.
If not, we just get a professional and to build it, and we just review the hell out of it.
So that's basically our view of 2018, as what Zoe said earlier in the video. 2018 has been a year full of premium Bandai and very disappointing build diver series.
Hopefully next year will be better. Gundam narrative is going on, and for Master Grades, I think it's a return to form. We're getting two very early spring releases, which is the Dynamis and also the Magnum from Build Divers.
I'm not very excited with Magnum, man. Seriously,
it's
it's an old kit, right? So
I mean, you're getting two kits early spring. For me, that sounds like a return to form.
Mike, I mean, Gundam narrative definitely seems a little bit more promising, even though they're still reusing the old Phoenix, the Sinanjustein. So the only thing that's new is the narrative RX-9.
All the armor packs that you're getting.
Armor packs A, B, and C, but we have not really seen any new Gundam design or mobile suit design so far. So
still nothing catches your eye.
So nothing catches your eye, but I mean, for me, old school guys, I quite like the old, the designs that's coming out from the series. So, the anime, the OVA, will be airing in cinemas early January next year from Malaysia and Singapore. So we'll definitely be catching that series to see how that show is gonna go and what's gonna come up next. So obviously, I think right now most Gunpla fans are thinking about, would there be a new Perfect Grade next year?
Most likely, Bandai loves reusing whatever is pre-existing, so they're gonna cash out. They're gonna milk this thing dry, man.
So yeah, we'll see. Let's share with you what we get from Wonder Fans early next quarter. And for now, we would love to hear from you guys on what were your top kits for 2018. But don't just share with us your Gunpla kits. Share with us what are the non-Gunpla kits that you think were things that people missed out.
Because it's a big Plamo world out there.
Yeah, it's a big Plamo world. So as usual, thank you guys so much for watching. Sticking with us. We know it's a long video, but we hope you have a good holiday and Merry Christmas to you guys.
Yeah, and like Mike said, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from our families to yours. Enjoy.
Leave a comment down below and please subscribe if you can. Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.